Hello everyone, welcome back to Shiller Aquatics. First of all, I want to say how grateful I am for all of you that have watched my channel and subscribed, but also buying products on my website, shilleraquatics.com. Because of you, I get to do what I love every single day, and this channel is growing, but also the website allows me to back off my regular job and do this more often. So more videos, more product. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's get this video started. So today I want to talk about quick feeding. Sometimes we get super busy and we have to just come in and feed our tank really quick. We can't do an elaborate feeding. I've come up with some products that are pretty amazing as far as just getting them into the tank quick, but high quality and will still do the job to help your discus stay healthy, help them grow. And I want you to just keep an open mind. I don't really feed flake food, but I went to a friend's house about a year ago and I asked him, how the heck are you getting these fish so beefy? I'm talking great size, thick foreheads, thick bodies, and these are discus. And I'm like going, what are you feeding these? And he said, well, to tell you the truth, I'm just feeding them flake food. I feed him some other stuff like bloodworms, but my main diet is flake food because he's a really busy guy. And he wanted to get a food that would help his fish grow, but he could feed real quick. So he was a breeder. He was actually the guy that I met through the black rams when they first hit, and we were getting $75 a ram. Well, he was breeding these black rams. So that's where I got my first black rams and helped build this whole room with those black rams. And I asked him, what is in this food? And his first response were earthworms. He saw earthworms are amazing because it helps the fish grow, it's good for them. Now he did feed other stuff, but that was his main food, was earthworms. So I said, I gotta look at the stuff and try it. So for about a year I've been feeding fish earthworms. And a couple videos ago I made a video about earthworms versus B-part. Now, I talked more about B-part in that because I knew that that would help views. Because people in this hobby are insane. And the discus police came after me and they wanted to tell me how bad B-part was, and that was fine. That was the point, right? So I didn't really go over the earthworms, knowing that this video was going to come out and we were going to talk about it. So these guys right here, 4 months old, a little over 4 months, and they have been fed earthworms. Okay, they've also gotten a little bit of B-part, but their main food was earthworms. And they're pushing the 4-inch mark. They're about 3/4 to 4 inch. There's a couple in here that are. So these were my test group, right? I wanted to see if I could get my fish to grow a little bit quicker. Now, there were some secrets on how I fed because I was so busy. So I did feed them by hand in the morning, and then I also fed them at night by hand. But during the day, I had a little secret. Now I'm going to talk about this and how I grew these fish out during the day and the products I came up, but it was still earthworm based. This is the food I've come up with. A year of work. Now, it's gone through about 5 different variations, and this is what I come up with, and I've been feeding it to these guys since they've been born. So I don't know how you feel about flake food, but for me it was something that I always thought was like a budget, or something that, you know, was like, yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there, but I really did not feed it. Now, my krill-based flake food on the website and mysis are high quality, okay, for a great price. This stuff is more expensive, but I'm going to read you the ingredients on it. It has salmon first, wheat gluten, soy protein isolate, and corn flour. Now you're saying, well, those are the first 4 ingredients. Why is it that way? Well, those are the binders, right? Those have to be in flake food. To make it, my first couple didn't have that much, and they basically just disintegrated in the water and they polluted the water. And that's one thing I don't like about flake food, is it tends to pollute, okay? So by having this mixture, it basically bound it where it held enough where the fish could eat it and it would last longer and not pollute the water. But the next ingredients had to be amazing. So salmon is the first ingredient, so it's salmon based. But then we go into earthworms, bloodworms, silkworms, tube effect worms, black worms, plankton, which is a kind of a fiber, krill, so I gotta have krill in my food. That's just a given now. And then basically I put in the prebiotics and probiotics and the vitamins. Now, one thing about my flake foods is they're not heat. There's a certain heat where it kills everything, all the nutrients. So it's considered a cool flake, right? So it's basically made at cooler temperatures, and that keeps the nutrients in it. Let's feed these guys and see if they like it on camera. It's always a test, huh? So I'm gonna just put a little bit in. Now remember, it is a flake food, so they're not gonna hit it like live foods, but they will slowly eat this. And you can see it falls nice. It basically doesn't cloud up the water, and they're eating it. Now, people say you shouldn't feed discus off the top. I feed all my discus off the top. They always have, always will. Doesn't matter to me. I guess it's bloat or something they're worried about. I'm not sure why. But discus in the wild, I'm sure eat bugs off the top, they eat it off the bottom, they eat mid-water. In the wild, they are more vulnerable at the top, so that's why they don't spend a lot of time. But if they see a bug at the top of the water, you're dang right they're going to go up and get it. So they eat off the top. What I like about this food is the growth. The ingredients are the best I could put in. Now, it's a little expensive, but on the website right now, you can buy this. I gave you $2 off. But if you look at the worm flake, okay, go to the website, look at the worm flake. I put like 5 or 6 products, I'm not sure. And I gave $2 off everything, even my Daily Delight. I put the kelp and krill. Now, discus will eat this, but they're not designed for discus. But all my L numbers, my zebra plecos, my L494s, my L134s, they all get this food at least 3 or 4 times a week. But I also feed them the flake, which they love, and then I also feed them the ultimate pellet, okay? So between these 3, and 1 day a week I'll put in like frozen bloodworms or frozen mysis or frozen brine shrimp. All this stuff is right now until the end of the month is on. You go on the grow and spawn, and then you can get everything else, all the ones I said, so I think there's 5 total. You can get $2 off each. This has been such a huge success that I was spending insane amount of time packing orders because of this. So this is still free. Spend $30, you put it in the cart before shipping, and you'll get the Amazon Gold and the Aqua Guard for free, which is just the water conditioner. So by going on and getting the worm flake and clicking on all the add-ons, you'll get to about $32. So you put all these in the cart, all below, put them all in the cart, comes about $32, and then click on this and you'll get this free. Okay? Why am I doing this? For one, I want more people to try these products. You know, my #1 seller is the Daily Delight. Now you can get $2 on that, the freeze dried. So not enough people are trying the chlorella green freeze dried, so that's on there for $2 off, right? But that $32 gets you the free Amazon Gold, which is the fulvic acid and the water conditioner. But I'm probably going to keep that forever. You put the $30 in your cart before shipping. That $9.99 value is going to be free, and that will offset your shipping. I want to do this for you. I'm getting a little hate as far as this being a channel where I sell. I don't care. Either you like it or you don't, right? If you don't like it, then don't watch. I'm fine with that. So you have to understand I've been on YouTube for 3 years and over 100 videos now. I haven't been consistent, but in those 3 years, I've made $110 on YouTube. That's what YouTube has paid me, and I still haven't got a check from them. And here's the thing, everything I'm getting in, I'm reinvesting, right? I'm still in the red about $5,000, $6,000, and that's fine because I know long-term it's gonna pay off. But I want you guys to try these products by giving you these discounts. Hopefully you'll try them and you'll buy more in the future. Maybe you'll hate it. And just remember that in all my businesses, I give 100% guarantees. If you ever don't like something or think something was a waste of your money, I would never want you to pay for it. That's not how I do business. I had my first business when I was 12 years old. I had a huge paper route, and yep, we used to get papers on our bikes every Sunday morning, and then I did lawns on Saturday. So I was making $200 a week at 12 years old, and I knew that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I always wanted to have my own business. I knew I never wanted to work for someone else. I knew that since I was 12 years old. So by doing this, not only am I making some money long term, short term I'm not, long term because I'm reinvesting, and I got 4 or 5 new products coming out in the next month or two. By the first of the year I should have those out for sure. So the amount of time I've been talking, which has been 15 minutes or so, now the video will be cut down. These guys have polished off. Now there's a little bit left, but they're eating everything and they're gonna eat it. So that's one thing that's nice about this food, is they kind of break it up. But the growth has just been amazing. So all these products under Grow and Spawn Worm Flake are on the discount, right? So I think you get $10 off and you get the conditioner and the Amazon Gold free. Now I'm going to keep doing this as far as selling my products on this channel. So, you know, I'm going to lose subscribers. That's okay. I don't mind that, because that's not what this is about. This is about helping you guys become better aquarists and have better products. So you're spending money on stuff that sometimes has carcinogens in it. Now that's one thing that's my other business. That's what I deal with all day long, are chemicals. So I understand about safety and handling, and some of this food is like, oh my gosh, I cannot. The big one is the ethoxyquin. Now that is a carcinogen. It's in a lot of flake foods. Probably you have this flake food in your fish room. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to get into that. But you got to remember, you're putting your hand in there and touching it. So that was one thing that I always want to do on my products, is safe to handle, safe for your fish, and as cost effective as I can get it. This one's a little more expensive, but the results speak for themselves. These guys are, I would say, 70% on earthworms. That's what they've been growing on. You guys know that I designed the bell. You guys know that I made all the freeze-dried fruit, and I got a lot of freeze-dried stuff coming because now I have the freeze dryers here so I can work on recipes. I'm about 10 in on a new product for fry, growing out fry, because it's important when the Discus babies are with parents or on their sides that they're still getting a supplement, and this food has to stick to the parent's side so these little fish can eat off. And basically they're getting nutrients not just on the slime coat and bacteria, but also some food sources. In the wild, it's flowing through the waters at all times. All these foods under the worm flake, and it'll be there till the end of the month, are all considered quick feedings, right? So hopefully you guys will look at it and be interested. If not, that's fine. But I wanted to make this video because it's very important to me that you have a variety, because really if you want fish looking like this, you can't feed one food. Even though my buddy, that's really all he feeds is this worm flake, which just blows me away. His isn't as intense as mine. I went a little bit farther just because in my research I was finding these other worms that packed a lot of nutrients, and the hard part is sourcing and then, you know, freeze drying these worms. Very doable. So it's really the labor that's costing a lot to get these recipes made. And hopefully as this channel grows and this business grows, I can bring those costs down by having more quantity coming in at one time. Last video did really well. I'm buying new equipment as far as video equipment, a little more portable, because what I'm noticing is I'm a little too stagnant in my videos, and it's hard for me to move around because there's a lot of cords. So I got to kind of set up in one spot and then shoot this video where I got new equipment coming in where it's a little more portable and I can move it around and set up new shots, okay? And that's because of the website. That's not because of YouTube. YouTube is not paying me anything. Like I said, 3 years, $110. So I'm getting support from my family now, where it used to be going to the fish room was a hobby, where now it's like they're saying, oh, they can see the potential. So it's like going to a job, right? But I love my jobs, I love my work, I love what I do, but this is like the ultimate for me. To be able to do this every single day, full time, would be amazing. Now I'm not there yet, probably won't be there for another year. Hopefully sooner, just depends on you guys, if you guys want what I'm giving. If not, then I'll just fade away and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And I make great money what I do, so it's not a huge deal, and I probably will take a pay cut initially. But I don't need a lot of money to survive. You know, I've invested well, I've taken care of my money over the years, I've made a lot of money in my other business. So I don't want to just stop doing this and do this full time and then have to go back, if that makes sense. I want to be able to do that and kind of weed that down. And right now at one point I was doing 6-7 days a week in my younger days, and then I got down to 5 days a week. I'm doing it about 3 to 4 days a week, so that leaves me 3 days the weekend, which I still spend with my family, and then usually 1 day a week I can do work on this business. But that means that when you guys do like your last order, wow, I was getting up at 2 a.m. to pack orders because I'm doing everything. It's just me right now. I have two 15-year-old daughters, and they want to drive, so they want a little bit of work and business, so hopefully they can help me, and they'd probably just be packing and making products. But when that happens, I have to buy more up front. So that's the problem, is paying them and buying more up front. Right now I have to keep everything off the shelves and make it as you guys order, which is fine because I don't mind. I get up at 2 in the morning and work till 6 in the morning on this business. I'm good, I'm fine, right? It doesn't bother me one bit. I've always worked, I've always made money, I've always done what had to be done to be successful. So, you know, to grow these fish out has been a real treat. Now, you're gonna say, why are they brown? Well, I'll just put up some pictures of the parents. They're gonna be turquoise, but they're turquoise heckles. So they do have a lot of wild in them. But what you have to understand is this first batch is basically a line bred. Now line bred is a way a breeder basically hides inbred, right? So they're inbred, they're crossed brother and sister. And then what I do is I cross them out to colorful fish. And hopefully I get something good. Now that doesn't always work. But one thing about these guys is you can see their genetics as far as their size at 4 months old. That's about 1 inch a month. That's pretty impressive. And they're getting the Daily Delight, the Colorado Green. They're getting all my bell systems. They're getting the big one though was the earthworms. Now, I'm going to talk about this. This is coming. These feeders, I figured out a way to feed, to make the food and feed 4 times a day. Now, if you're going to be feeding these 4 times a day for grow outs, you better be doing water changes every night, because you're going to get a lot of food, they're going to grow really fast. But I'm working on a feeder. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I've tried every feeder on the market. And the one that I come to is, I'm going to say it right now, it's the Aquarium Co-op for 2 reasons. Reliable, easy to program. But the big one besides that is rechargeable. No batteries. Now, I've already sourced these from China under its own brand name, and that's all he does. He puts his label on it. You know, my label might not be on it for a while because I'll have to buy like a couple thousand units. But this is coming probably at the first of the year. So basically what this does is just put it on the tank, and let's turn it on. One thing I don't like is when it turns on, sometimes it doesn't reset right. Okay, this one looks like it might have, but basically 4 times a day they get this food. Now, what's nice is they can do 1 rotation, 2 rotations, 3 rotations. So if that's not enough, they're going to get, you know, a 2nd rotation, 3rd rotation. So it's a fine line in order to get it right where you're not overfeeding the tank. So this is coming. Let me show you the food. And I've really come up with a good system on keeping the door at the right. So putting a piece of tape. Now a lot of you put the tape across here. It's better if you, and I've got a guide to get this at the right distance. And then you put this tape over, and then you can slide it up this way, But what I do is I come to the back, and there's a little latch right here. And then this food has been amazing. So I'm going to show you this food. See if I can see that. So lots of good stuff in there. So this is coming out probably in the next month or two. Definitely by the 1st of 2025. This food I've been using on all of my fish. Everything. And growing out angels, growing out rainbow fish, growing out, if it eats food, this stuff grows it, right? Because that's one of the things about growing fish for profit, or breeding fish for profit, is time. You know, you spend a little more money on food and bring back the time. It's really the labor that costs a lot of money, because it's your time. You can't get that back, right? So by doing stuff like this, you basically increase your profits pretty readily by having it automatically fed. But that means if they're getting that kind of food every day, you do have to do water changes. So it's a discipline, right? Like anything. If you want to have success, you got to be disciplined, right? Because if I left this tank and fed like that heavy with everything and didn't do a water change every night, I'd probably start losing fish pretty quick. They might do okay, but why take the chance? If you're trying to get these guys to market quick, then you got to do the work. All right, go check out the website, shelleraquatics.com. I'm really here to help because I spent 35 years in this hobby, and I just felt like I was never getting my money's worth with all these fillers in the food. You know, people that I'm amazed, because I've met some of these scientists that work for these big companies, and they've never kept an aquarium in their life. So they have no attachment to what we do, and that's what makes the difference. Is I'm here every day, twice a day. I'm looking, I'm observing, I'm testing. I'm trying to make it better, right? I'm just trying to make it better. Are they all successes? Absolutely not. Tons and tons and tons of failures. But I know that failure, if I keep going, it's going to be success. It's so true in business that if you are building something and working hard and going for it, and then one day you decide you get a setback and you're like, oh, you know what, I don't know if I can do this anymore. As soon as you start saying that, that means you're on the edge. You're going to be successful. And if you give up at that point, you will fail, right? But if you push through, usually at that point, that's when you find success. All right, I'll leave you guys at that.